Hi everyone, and welcome to the Francis Lehman Loeb Art Center's first ever Art at Home video. My name is Allie, and I am an intern for the Art Center. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I have been doing all of my work remotely, so this series is designed to help you bring a little bit of the Loeb into your living room or wherever you make art. Hopefully, you'll be able to take inspiration from the collection even if you aren't able to visit it in person right now. Today's video will revolve around one of my favorite things, food. Food has a special place in the art world, and it has been incorporated into art in many different ways. First, food has been the subject of many different famous works of art, especially in the form of a still life. In classical still lifes, grapes and other fruits are featured, along with a glass of wine or maybe a glamorous vase in order to depict the richness of the setting. Take, for example, this still life by Peter Klaus.
Besides making the viewer hungry, the presence of food represents variety and plenty and shows off Klaus's ability to paint different textures and surfaces in a more subdued color palette.
Another work in the Loeb that I love that depicts food is this market scene by a Flemish artist.
While this work is not a still life, it depicts the abundance and variety of fresh foods present in marketplaces, even in the 1500s.
Another way that food can be incorporated into a work of art is by physically using the food while creating the work.
Take, for example, Ed Ruscha's silkscreen prints in his 1970 series News, Muse, Pews, Brews, Stews, and Dews. Ruscha uses inks made of non-traditional materials, including food items. Specifically, in Muse, Ruscha uses inks made of spaghetti sauce and fruit pie fillings.
Another method of incorporating food into your art is by using food items and dipping them in paint in order to make stamps in interesting shapes. I'm going to be trying this method with you today, so grab some paint, grab some food, and let's get started.
Before we begin, let's make sure we have everything we need. Make sure you cover your surface with newspaper to prevent any spills or stains. You will need a paper plate to mix and portion out colors, paint. I've used a basic tempera paint that is washable and is readily available at most craft stores, paper, and assorted food items to make your prints. There are a few things to keep in mind while picking different foods to try printing. For example, printing these pretzels makes a really unique shape. Keep in mind that some things that might have the same shape might look very different printed due to the texture of the surface that you're printing on. Texture is another thing you can experiment with. Notice that a potato absorbs paint in a vastly different way than a spinach leaf and has a radically different mark once printed. Be sure to try out different things. There's no harm in trying different food items before settling on a few that you're happy with. Some foods are naturally easier to print than others, so be sure to try things out. Additionally, depending on the amount of paint and the pressure applied to your food, you can get very different print results. Now, you may have noticed that all the foods that I'm using are stale or overripe or usually discarded products. Make sure when you choose the foods to print that you keep in mind how much waste you're producing. By using products that would already end up in the trash or compost, you can make beautiful art without wasting food. Finally, it helps when your food items have a flat surface. If a food is flat, it is easier to print onto paper than something that is rounded.
Now, another really awesome work in the Loeb that depicts food is this work by artist Robert Heineken entitled Foodgram Number 4.
Heineken's work is a polagram, which is made using a unique process in which objects are placed directly onto a big piece of Polaroid film and then exposed to light.
While I personally am not very good at photography, I thought it could be fun to recreate the look of this image by dipping food in paint to use as stamps.
With that said, here's a little food printmaking tutorial depicting my favorite summer dessert, a banana split. You will need the following: paper, 2 paper plates, a banana peel, a round apple slice cut off the side of an apple, and a strawberry or a pecan. You additionally might need a paintbrush. You will need white, red, yellow, blue, and green paint. I don't have any brown paint, so I will be mixing a shade of brown from my red, yellow, and orange paint. Once you have your tools ready, let's get cooking. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my apple slice to form the ice cream scoops in our banana split print. I'm going to dip the apple into a mixture of white paint with a dash of blue. Since I'm using white paper, the blue is to make the ice cream look a little more visible. You can also try mixing in yellow paint if you want more of a vanilla bean tinge to your ice cream. I am using a brush to apply the paint more evenly to the surface of the apple slice, but you can feel free to just dip your apple right into the paint. After After rinsing off my apple slice and my brush, I'm going to mix myself some white paint with some red paint to make a light pink ice cream color. Apply it to the same apple slice and place it to the right of my white circle. It's okay if the colors overlap. Like in traditional prints, overlap is more than okay, and it can actually make a print even more interesting. I'm then going to mix up some brown paint and, using the same apple piece, print a brown circle next to my white and pink circles. I'm using a blend of red, black, yellow, and orange paint in order to create my brown. Now you've just finished making the ice cream part of your banana split. Next, I'm going to print my banana. I'm taking some yellow paint and dipping the inside of my banana into the paint, leaving the yellow skin facing up. Using the inside of the banana can make more realistic, banana-like texture when printed. Make sure paint is covering your entire peel before printing. I am printing this banana face up, like a smiley face, with a little bit of space below the ice creams. This space is going to be filled by strawberries. Moving on to the strawberries. I'm going to take my strawberry and dip it into some red paint. I decided to try out both the pecan and the strawberry to make the strawberry shape for my banana split. I decided I liked using the pecan better. I'm going to print 4 strawberries between the ice cream and the banana. If you put too much paint on your stamp, you won't get the texture you want, so you may want to stamp off some of the excess on a separate piece of paper, or you may have to reprint if you don't have enough paint on your food. This happened to me a bit with the pecan because it is dry and does not absorb as much paint as a more wet food might. For the strawberry stem, I'm taking an edge of my pecan and I'm dipping it into some green paint, and then I'm going to make a little star shape at the edge of each red circle for the strawberries. For an extra little effect, I decided to take my fingertip and dip it into the red paint and put a little cherry on the top of each of the 3 scoops of ice cream. Finally, to create the bowl, I'm taking my brush with the leftover vanilla paint and painting stripes below the banana. If you don't have a brush, feel free to use your fingers, or wash the banana peel and fold it in half and print stripes of the peel side. And then, voila, your banana split is done.
On behalf of the Loeb, thanks so much for joining me today. If you're interested in learning more about any of the works mentioned in this video or are curious about exploring our online collection, please visit our website at the end of this video. Additionally, sign up for our email newsletter for weekly updates on more Loeb at Home activities. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Stay healthy, safe, and creative. Bye-bye.